The third and the final Clash Royale champion is arguably the most powerful and the most unique hero in all of the Clash universe. His ability to capture souls and raise the dead are a power only ever seen before in the witches and in special spells, but the original power has belonged to the ancient Skeleton King. But for a Skeleton King who has supposedly been around for so long, how is it that no one has ever seen him before now? And more importantly, who is this insanely powerful undead king? Find out all of that and more inside of today's story, The Skeleton King's Origin Story. Back on October 20th, 2016, the Clash Royale King was getting ready to make some big changes in Clash Royale Arena. His first order of business was that he was going to be cutting 5 skeletons from the skeleton army. He was reducing the number of skeletons in the army down from 21 to 15, so this meant that he was going to simply banish 5 skeletons from the arenas. And so later in the day, when the king was announcing this, the skeletons were forced to decide amongst themselves who would be the poor souls getting kicked out of the army. And unfortunately for Larry and his 4 other friends, they decided to kick out the 5 weakest skeletons. This meant that Larry, Barry, Jerry, Terry, and Mary were forced out of the Clash Royale arenas. And so just like that, the 5 skeletons found themselves at the gate of the Clash Royale arena, with nowhere to go. And so with no idea of where to go, they just started to walk. The skeletons had heard rumors before of the Clash of Clans village, and how the witches and wizards there had potions capable of turning them into bigger and stronger super skeletons. They decided to make their way to this village in hopes of one day finding the village and using their spells and becoming more powerful than before. And so for days the skeletons marched on. With their tiny legs and little skeleton bones, they didn't make it very far each day. The village was also not a close hike, as normally troops would have to take a flying machine to get there and back, and even then it would still take a few hours. And so on the 3rd day of their journey, the skeletons started to notice that the scenery was starting to change. This must have meant that they were close. But as they felt that they were getting closer and closer to the village, it also started getting harder and harder to see. The fog in the area was starting to get so thick that the group of skeletons couldn't see it in front of them. They ended up climbing the side of a small mountain, and they didn't even realize this at the time, but they continued to march on. Once they got closer to the top, Larry accidentally tripped and fell into the other skeletons. He ended up knocking them forward until they fell into a cave. Now this cave had a steep drop-off, and so all of the skeletons started to fall down. The staircase that they were sliding down seemed to keep going on forever and ever, as they just kept falling until they finally landed on the very hard rock bottom floor. Barry, Jerry, Terry, and Mary, who were all tripped up by Larry, all hit the ground first and hit it super hard. They shattered into bones all across the floor, and then they all turned into elixir scattered across the floor. Larry was the last one to fall and got super lucky, as his fall was broken by the other skeletons. But as lucky as Larry was, his friends weren't quite as lucky. And now Larry was all alone by himself, surrounded by a pool of bones and elixir. And in the middle of some spooky cave that he had never even seen before. Larry took one big look around and noticed that it wasn't actually just some cave. It looked more like some old castle that had been buried for years. And at the end of the room, Larry could see a giant stone throne. And sitting on the throne was a dusty crown. Intrigued by the large piece of jewelry in front of him, Larry picked up the crown and tried it on. And as soon as Larry put the crown on, he felt a surge of power rush through his bones. Larry then nearly tripled in size and changed in appearance. The crown that he put on had belonged to the ancient Skeleton King and had possessed unlimited power and had been around for a very long time. And as Larry wore the crown, he could relive and understand all the power that the original Skeleton King possessed. Larry was able to determine that he now not only had super strength and super size, but also had the ability to capture the souls of the dead and raise them back from the ground. This new power seemed super cool to Larry. But unfortunately, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, because with the new power of the Skeleton King, there also came a dreaded curse as well. And Larry knew this. There was a limit of how many souls the Skeleton King could capture. If he starts to capture too many, then it starts to drive the king mad. And that was exactly what happened to the last Skeleton King. He had captured too many souls during a war in Clash of Clans, and was driven mad to the point where he was actually destroyed, and that is why the crown was now resting on top of this vacant throne. And so knowing this, Larry would have to be very careful not to push the limits of his powers. Anyways, once Larry realized what he could do with his powers, he immediately resurrected his friends from the dead. Now, of course, they were already dead before, but at least now they actually had physical bodies to move around in rather than just being a pool of elixir on the floor. So once his friends had returned, the 5 skeletons then made this castle their new home for the next 5 years. And so for those 5 years, they sat around and guarded the tomb while exploring the surrounding areas. And during that time, Larry and the other skeletons explored the ruined castle and found some nice new weapons and armor to really match the aesthetic of a skeleton king. He found a nice mace and a cape that was the right fit for a king. Skip ahead to October 2021. The Archer Queen and Golden Knight had just joined the Royal Recruit on his journey to find all 3 of the Clash Royale champions for the king. And after finding the Archer Queen in the middle of some forest, he started to follow his map to the supposed Skeleton King. Thankfully, they were a lot closer than they had realized, since the Archer Queen was literally just there. And when she saw the small mountain that they were all about to climb, she felt a sense of deja vu. Together, the 3 of them climbed the mountain until they got to the entrance of the cave. The brave Royal Recruit led the way down. And when he got to the bottom, he saw the Skeleton King sitting back in his throne. He approached him and handed the Skeleton King the letter. And he was met with a mass summoning of skeletons. The Skeleton King couldn't exactly talk, but by the look on his face, he either wanted to attack the Royal Recruit right then and there, or he was going to follow him back to the Clash Royale arenas. The Recruit hoped that it was the second option, and he turned around and started to get ready to lead him out to the Clash Royale arenas. And anyways, that there is the origin story of the Skeleton King. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, as always, make sure to drop a like on this video. Let's see if we can reach 1,000 likes on this video. And there is one more final part coming to this story, which will include the journey of all 3 new Clash Royale champions, being the Golden Knight, the Archer Queen, and the Skeleton King. Their long and shocking journey back to the Clash Royale arena where nothing goes right. That one will be coming out as soon as I can get that done. Obviously, if you guys drop a like on this video and get over 1,000 likes, I will do my absolute best to get that video out as soon as possible, just so I know that you guys actually do really want to see that. But nonetheless, that one will be coming out. It's just a matter of time. And that there will be the final story in the Clash Royale Champions or Clash Royale Heroes origin stories. It's been a lot of fun making this story. And this time I tried doing something new where I had each story build off of the past ones. So let me know in the comments if you guys like that better, or if you guys would prefer that each story is its own standalone. I really do care about what you guys think, since you guys are the ones who watch this video and support me after all. So definitely let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Also, just to let you guys know, I will be in the comment section for the first 10 minutes after I post each video. I'll be screenshotting the first comment on my video so I can give you a shout out in the next one, as well as responding to comments for the first 10 minutes. So if you guys do want to talk to me or have a chance of being featured in one of my videos, make sure you guys turn on your post notifications, hit that bell next to the subscribe button, and change it to always allow notifications, and you guys will have a chance of being able to talk to me or being featured in a video. Anyways, I look forward to speaking with you guys, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Peace out.